The government considered 1.2% below inflation a fair bargain offer, but the union refused to accept it. Notice this is a final offer, not an offer to be negotiated. It's a powerful and concise statement that captures a feeling of frustration and injustice that many people experience during wage negotiations, especially in the public sector. Let's break down why this situation feels so unfair and why the term fair bargain can ring hollow. First, the simple math, a real term's pay cut. The core of the issue is basic arithmetic. Oh, inflation, the rate at which the cost of living is rising. Let's say inflation is 3%, as an example. Offer 1.2%. And result 1.2% minus 3% equals negative 1.8%. This means, in real terms, your purchasing power has decreased by 1.8%. You can buy less with your salary than you could the year before. This isn't a raise. It's a pay cut disguised as an increase. Labor pointed this out, but the government didn't know anything about. Second, why calling this fair bargain is problematic. The government's use of the term fair bargain is often seen as cynical or disingenuous for several reasons. Power imbalance. In many public sector disputes, the government is both the employer and the rule setter. This creates a fundamental imbalance of power. They can impose a settlement or legislate one, making the bargaining part feel like a sham, dictated to. Are you not talking about carefully evaluating the reasonable party, while implying that those who reject the offer are seeing as unreasonable? Ignoring the reality of workers. The offer ignores the real financial strain workers are under due to rising costs for housing, food, energy, and fuel. It shows a disconnect between the government's rhetoric and the lived experience of its employees. Broken trust. For workers who have endured years of below-inflation offers, this pattern erodes trust. The process no longer feels like good faith bargaining, but rather a repeated exercise in managing decline. The public sector workers are taxpayers. Underfunding them hurts the economy and leads to a decline in public services, which costs society more in the long run. The reason for the mega-strike. Many economists argue that corporate profits and other factors play a larger role in current inflation. Furthermore, suppressing the wages of a large portion of the workforce suppresses consumer spending, which has harmed the economy. This is a political choice, not an economic inevitability. It reflects a choice about spending priorities, for example, tax cuts versus public sector pay. If you are in this situation, the feeling of powerlessness is real, but there are channels for response. Union action is the primary vehicle for collective response. Support your union's campaign, whether it involves a work to rule, strikes, or public advocacy. Public messaging clearly and consistently explain the maths. The message is simple. A 1.2% offer during 3% inflation is a 1.8% pay cut. This is not fair. Lobby local MPs and councillors. Make it clear that this issue will influence votes and more strikes to come. In short, the strike perfectly encapsulates a situation where the language of fairness is used to legitimize an outcome that is, in practical terms, deeply unfair to the workforce. It's a classic case of a take-it-or-leave-it offer being dressed up as a negotiated settlement. Unless wages are above inflation, the economy would continue to stagnate, and the government wonders what's wrong with the economy.